Everybody keeps saying that Brat Summer is dead, but can a legend ever truly die? Let's work it out on the remix. Pitchfork announced the death of Brat Summer last week. First of all, as a publication, Pitchfork's credibility as the tastemaker of cool has been seriously decimated by its folding into GQ and the subsequent dismantling of its editorial team, and it's now not much more than a Rolling Stone AI content farm, with occasional guest writers looped in on a shoestring budget. So, auteurs of the music industry, they are not. That ship has sailed. The internet controls what's cool, and it is simply too porous and expansive in the niche age to be controlled by any one sphere of influence. So, let's start there. Pitchfork does not get to say whether Brat Summer is over. But there is an interesting point that is coming up over and over again that is somewhat addressed in this article. Who decides when a moment ends? It's certainly true that when corporations and brands co-opt an organic viral trend, it automatically ends its run as being a key for the terminally online. Why? Well, brands have, started doing something very humiliating, mimicking real people being messy on social media behind faceless corporate profiles, trying to seem unhinged. It's very much giving hello, fellow kids. On the internet, you can actually discern tone and intent from even a tweet or a 15-second TikTok. When you see the latest Apple dance is coming from a bunch of accident insurance lawyers in a bleak office with the dollar signs of a viral moment in their dead eyes, you know that something special and organic has turned into something co-opted and a bit spoiled. But does that mean that Brat Summer is dead? I'm not sure. Brat Summer has had a great run of organic viral content. Some of my favorites were the various Photoshop iterations of the Brat Wall, our collective immediate understanding of what it means to be so Julia.
That girl. I think like...
And the various girls so confusing edits of the Real Housewives fighting each other and pop stars with famous beef. I made one for Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, and it was a true joy to create. That version of Brat Summer is certainly over, though there will still be pockets of hee-hee moments now that it's been taken over by old people who would otherwise not know who Charli XCX is and mangled Brat Summer beyond its purpose. Something has died. But who killed it? In the Pitchfork article, Ariel Gordon turns the responsibility back on Charli herself by simply tweeting Kamala is brat. Charli gave permission to a new presidential campaign to do the ultimate form of co-opting, which is taking something for the people and using it for political gain. The Kamala coconut edits with brat fan cams were genuinely funny until her presidential campaign caught on and started using it to their own advantage. It feels cynical, and we, the audience, the plebeians, the normal people who are just trying to have a big inside joke on TikTok, are immediately aware that Kamala Harris does not care about the spirit of Brat Summer. She cares about finding young people and getting something from them, their votes. This is the way the world works now, but we are more in tune with it when this is happening. I think it's kind of unfair to place the blame of Brat Summer being co-opted squarely on Charli's shoulders. After all, Brat Summer is bigger than her and bigger even than the record itself. What's happened is a short-lived cultural phenomenon that spoke something back to us that we needed to hear. We can, in fact, still have fun. We can be silly and go to parties and get up and still emote fully. Brat Summer walks the line between cool and uncool in a very delicate way, kind of making it the ultimate cool. Am I explaining it right? These things are kind of hard to get down. The better question, instead of who killed Brat Summer, is who owns Brat Summer? What is it? How did it happen? And was it ever something purely devoid of commerciality which supposedly killed it in the first place? I'll be exploring this in today's video while charting the album rollout to analyze how pop's most intuitive internet starlet won this year's Viral Olympics. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zach, I'm a methodologist. I make thoughtful weekly videos about pop culture. In today's video essay, I'm going to be talking about Charli XCX and Brat Summer, but you can recently catch me talking about a host of topics. I just did a video on the fall and rise of Chappell Roan. I talked about Camila Cabello's flop rebrand. There's a lot more coming your way, so make sure to subscribe. Over 50% of you that watch my videos are not subscribed, and that's really rude, so let's change that. Though Brat Summer was indeed an album marketing campaign masterminded by the brilliant and ever online Charli XCX, the seed from which it sprung is a truly great piece of art that met a moment in pop culture that was so ready to receive it. So let's talk about how it came around. Something kind of snotty, something kind of rude, something kind of bratty arrived at the beginning of June. Charli XCX's seminal text, her sixth studio album, Brat. This is an artist operating at 100, next level Charli, if you will. Brat is a pulsing ode to a life lived in the public eye, and more than anything else, this record is an exercise in strategic vulnerability, continuing Charli's long game of metapop where she opines on her uneasy and mystifying relationship with other artists and with herself and fame, and she wonders, for example, on the album Highlight Rewind, why she can't stop caring about where her songs chart on the Hot 100 and if commercial performance is even important to her. Strategic vulnerability is something that I've talked a lot about when it comes to Taylor Swift. Celebrities are careful and right to only share the unflattering parts of themselves that can be successfully monetized. For Taylor Swift, that's accounting in painstaking detail the trials and tribulations of love. Charli's practice is very different. She's not necessarily being candid here about Charlotte Atchison, her legal name. She's dishing about Charli XCX, this kind of larger-than-life party girl persona that has formed over her years in the spotlight. It's fairly easy to be vulnerable, I've mentioned this before, Simply pouring your heart out and announcing your deepest feelings is not artful in and of itself. The skill, the practice, and the craft comes from learning which moments of your vulnerability should be transmitted through an artistic medium of your choice. In and of itself, vulnerability does not necessarily lend to Charlie's chosen lane of genre. Hyperpop, PC music, dance, rave, these things all kind of lean towards irony or irreverence. I'm not saying that all of this music is ironic. Of course, we have our sincere party girl pioneers like Robin, and more formatively for Charlie, the effervescent and no longer with us Sophie, who showed that on the dance floor, it's okay to cry. Brat is compelling because it straddles both facets of this genre at the same time, often on the same song. Brat spotlights the defensive posture and eye roll from the it girl in the club with her sunglasses on, while also showing us what happens when the it girl's eyes well up with tears behind her Balenciaga shades, a knot forms in her stomach that forces her to exit the dance floor and recover, bum on the floor of a dirty bathroom stall, knees pressed up against the cubicle while the endless goodnight burns on without her. The record comes from both of those places, and I think that's why it has resonated so widely with people. Firstly, Charlie has been perfecting her thing, her act, for years. Amidst label struggles and being ahead of her time, it finally feels like the culture has caught up to the silly but serious artistry of our most forward-thinking main pop girl. And yes, I think at this particular